Pronatalists, for a definite increase in the number of childbirths. Antinatalists, for a certain decrease of the number of childbirths. Presentation, the showing of said items or maybe a program to prove your point to a certain number of people. This is a combination of these three words just to say how two opposing countries clash with this policy. There's yin to yang. There's no happiness without hatred. The taste of a knickerbocker glory is nothing if you haven't staked your 3-year-old relatives over the bench and started thwacking them with your Sunday glass. Anyway, that's why I'm not allowed in the ice cream parlour anymore, but let's cut to the chase and begin in this duel to see which one's right.
2, 1.
Well, it's not like I exactly agree with them or anything, but you can see where India's getting their ideas from. Every child there is born with a 50% chance of either finding work or just going into the slum scavenging business, trying to find any form of useful resource, or just go die of a disease or something. Women bear about an average of 3 kids each year. Too much according to the government, who now want to restrict them to just 2. People here would say, well, that's easy, I could have just 2 kids no problem. Or at least if you're a woman you'd say that, because that would just be strange. But what you've got to bear in mind is that this is a much more privileged country. We have free healthcare and education, and a smaller chance of suddenly suffering a heart attack because a rabid toad went and bit your arm. I don't think that would happen in India either, but I think you catch my drift. All those politicians obviously don't want to spend all their weekly earned cash on their kids, but they use a nice little cover story that the country's just got too much to handle. Oh, I see. It was okay when that huge heat wave hit and killed about a third of New Delhi, but you see one of those precious banknotes sail into the wind and it's all hands on deck. I don't think they've really considered the possible diseases or occurrence in my opinion. If, God forbid, something like the zombie apocalypse rolls round, they'll be changing the tune a bit. Politicians should set the example, so says the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, so I'd be a little worried if I was the third of her offspring. Or more. Don't know how she'll manage to get around that one if she's been populating the country a bit herself. Ha ha ha. Probably just tossed the least loved infants onto piles of burning litter. Japan, on the other hand, says, yes, childbirth, great idea, all of this in my face, blah 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 blah. Elderly people practically rule the majorly populated cities, so there's going to be plenty of rumours of old people getting taken to mountains and left to die in the freezing cold. I've never exactly found out whether that's true for myself, but if you're ever climbing up a mountain and find a load of discarded walking sticks and withered corpses, at least you'll know what's been happening. They go ahead and try everything. Smaller production of condoms, hanging signs up everywhere, you know the thing. We want children, give us them now. I see you haven't given birth in the past 2.5 seconds since I told you about this new rule, so go have some sex. They even have robot children. Yeah, that's right. I'll let that sink in. Robot children. Apparently this helps encourage people to have their own kids once they experience the apparent joys of offspring. And I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want this anywhere near my house, let alone give it a cot and feed it each night. Japan may be trying to get the population a bit younger, but they've got to remember the excessive amount of old people aren't helping to keep the chances of overcrowding down. I'm not saying kill them all off, but these soulless automatons really don't look human enough to make any experience with them genuine. And while we're looking forward to the new inhabitants, the old people still need a little attention. With certain bodies lying dead in homes for possible months before being discovered, they should be shown just a little more care than the maximum of 2 months in hospital.